Good afternoon, this is Ronald Manados, reporting live from Bangalore, a city of great importance for startup businesses and for economic innovation. And we are here at the Startup Vision Summit of the SAARC, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which Naumann Foundation is supporting, proudly supporting. And we will try to give you an impression. We're not quite done yet, but we have a very important and very interesting guest with us. And this is Mr. Dulith Herath, a gentleman, a businessman, an entrepreneur from Sri Lanka, and founder and chairman of a company called Grasshoppers, and also of 5 other companies. So you are a successful businessman.
A serial entrepreneur, I would say.
A serial entrepreneur. What does that mean?
He has his addiction to keep starting more companies every couple of years. I don't know by definition if that's what it is, but I just keep starting new companies.
And they're all successful, we gather.
Well, within them there had been problems. I mean, no startup is an easy game, right? But lucky enough, all the 5 that I've started up are cross-margin positive, and he's making multiple rounds and being successful.
So we're here in Bangalore at what I termed in my introduction as a historical event. I mean, that's a big name, but it's the first time actually that startup entrepreneurs from all South Asian countries sit together in one room and discuss synergies and discuss what they can do together. So, sir, what's your takeaway so far?
I think the takeaway is just seeing the whole landscape of SAARC from a startup perspective. You know, I was never been, I mean, you all talk about India all the time, but you don't talk about Pakistan, you don't talk about Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, or Bangladesh. These countries we don't really, that's kind of sideline stories. But when you see the whole landscape here, yesterday and today, it's very intriguing. And we, as a Sri Lanka, as a smaller country, we kind of helps us to look outwards. Right? I mean, everybody talks about Israel, right? They look outwards. That's how they succeeded. So I think for me as a startup or an entrepreneur from Sri Lanka, it helps me to look outward.
Okay, so it helps you to look outward, but the narrative, the international narrative, if you look at the international newspapers and if you look at the literature, if you may, it's all focused on India and Bangalore. And is there a startup narrative, is there a startup story also outside of India and South Asia? Is this the feeling you have here?
Oh, of course. I mean, I live outside of India, so I see this happening right under my feet, and I'm actively involved in it. So I myself have, now running the 5th startup in the last 12 years, and 2 of them had been actually organically started up, bootstrapped all the way from the beginning with 0 funding, and became more than $100 million companies actually, the first one. So there is that going, and it's a very sexy thing now in Asian countries to work at a startup, become an entrepreneur in a startup. So it's no longer a very backward thinking thing anymore.
So you say it's a very sexy thing. There's a lot of hype around the startups, but now let's push the hype aside a little. What's in for it for the people? I mean, we're discussing this because we want to maybe even have an impact on societies. What is the importance of startups for development in these countries which all have a lack of development?
Right. So you might look at it and say, hey, this is all hype. How many exits are you getting? There's 100 companies, not even a single exit, that kind of thing. But look at all the funds or the money that's been pumped through this. We are not going and parting with this money. It goes into salaries. It goes back into the ecosystem, right? That's very important. So there are these angels, there are these funds that really want to, just give away the money almost to the need or to do an impact in a country, but they'll rather do it through a startup. So, out of 100, 1 might succeed, but the 99 that failed, you didn't burn the money. When you say you burn it, you're not really burning it, it goes back into the system.
So angels are not these creatures coming from heaven, but they are humans like you and I, and they are investors. Can you tell us about the typical investor in South Asia?
There's no one size fits all.
I think that's one of the lessons we had so far. There's not one size fits all. Every society, every economy has the specialities of it, no?
Sure. because these angels comes in multiple colors, and there are angels who are specialized angels. So there's to be an insurance angel who really loves the insurance agent, the landscape insurance. So he's looking for companies that he can value add more than his deep pocket, right? Those are the real angels. I mean, they'll come and sit on your shoulder basically,
Yes.
while putting the money in your pocket.
So they have also, and this I think we gathered also, they have almost a mentoring role. They would influence the policies of a startup.
Absolutely, but it's up to the entrepreneur or the founder really to pick his angel. I always tell them, hey, don't go. You have to pick the angel. Like you can't be like sitting in a pool of angels and say, hey, pick me kind of thing. You need to be able to pick the angel as well. And angels know this. I mean, angels can tell when a guy is like when a guy has a great idea in his pocket. When you talk to him, he's not very naive about it. He's confident about it. It's like it almost become like, look, if you are not interested, I'm not interested kind of a thing happens organically or authentically when you're very confident about your idea. Right?
So angels are investors. Investors are important. Capital is important. It's actually the condition for investment. We discussed extensively the ecosystem. This is a term referring to the conditions, the framework in which these startups are operating in. What from your side, who has set up all these startups successfully in Sri Lanka, and now you're venturing also abroad, you mentioned you were in Vietnam and in Qatar, of all places, very impressive. What are essential criteria for a conducive ecosystem for startup investments?
Well, again, it depends from country to country and where that country stands at that time. I mean, whatever I say may not apply to Bhutan because they are in a different time slot, right? If you take the timeline of the Silicon Valley, we are kind of following that same timeline. So India is in one point, Sri Lanka is at one point, and Bhutan is at another point, Nepal is another point. So there's again no size fits all message there. But what the most important thing is for me, I say it's the education of the curriculum itself, having the startup in it, because that helps you to get family support. Right, because the family support is very important when a young guy gets onto doing a startup. The most important thing is, hey, can you get married one day? Can I go and tell all those things pass and parcel with the country's culture, right? So
maybe we should again call your attention to that. This is a 3-day event. You can follow us on social media. We have a hashtag SAARC Startups 18, and these are the flags of the 8 countries which are around us. Please follow us and follow the great debate. Sir, I want to end up with one question which we have not extensively discussed. We have not come to a conclusion, but we've already started discussing this. Do you see any synergies? You just mentioned Bhutan, a small country in the north, Europe with the very south, there's a delegation here from the Maldives. So really countries which usually don't come to your mind if you think of startup economy. Do you see any potential of anything happening beyond just this academic kind of dialogue?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it's more interesting to look at frontier markets like that. I'm less interested to actually look into India because the competition is too much, and these countries like Bhutan are blank sheets, right? So there's not much scribble on it at all. I love to work on blank sheets, right? And so definitely, and especially Bangladesh is a place that I'm very actively interested in. And Maldives, for example, so Grasshoppers, my company, is getting into drone deliveries, and we are doing
drone deliveries, okay,
but not to the homes, obviously, because you cannot fly over residential areas. That's normal drone rules. But since we are an island, we could fly around the coastal line. So that was my idea I got the approval in Sri Lanka to do that. So we can actually do this in Maldives because it's perfect for that. You just across the islands, you just dash it down the line. And these are drones running from gasoline, not battery. So these can carry much higher payloads, right? So you ask about, why not go to other regions? There you go, that's one reason.
Okay, so in a way, the future is already with us, at least in this conference room. We mentioned all the countries. We did not mention Pakistan. We did not mention Afghanistan, a country which is usually associated not with startups and e-commerce, but there's a lot of things happening also in Afghanistan.
Pakistan is very big into e-commerce now because
Yes.
Daraz is there, Alibaba is there.
Yes. So this is very, very kind of future-oriented. We have some great people here. One of them is Dulith, a friend from Sri Lanka. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here from Bangalore. Stay tuned. I gave you the address, hashtag SAARC Startups 18. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you for your support, and goodbye from South India.